Did you know Tinder gives everyone a secret score that ranks how desirable they are, which determines how often to show their profile? Or
they give a secret score? I'm about to make one. What would be mine? You think like, what would my secret score be? Yo, peep this. Look, everybody and everything to me has a dark or evil side. And we about to expose Tinders.
Relationships are powerful. It's what builds everything around us. What we're about is making introductions.
Right.
People are coming to Tinder because they want to meet new people and they're curious about what the possibilities are.
Hey, yo. I just thought about it. If Tinder scam lonelies, man, that's crazy.
you might think that Tinder is designed to help you meet people, find love, find the one, but in reality, Tinder wants none of this. Every time someone finds a partner, they've just lost 2 customers, and that's bad for business. Instead, Tinder has used a genius strategy to monetize loneliness, which has helped it become one of the most profitable apps in the entire world. You see, on the one hand, Tinder is an incredible business success story, and they've managed to completely revolutionize online dating. But on the other hand, there are countless allegations that the company has put profit before people, and toyed with the most fundamental human emotion, love. For example, did you know Tinder gives everyone a secret score that ranks how desirable they are, which determines how often to show their profile? Or
they give a secret score? I'm about to make one. What would be mine? You think like, what would my secret score be?
Or did you know that the creator of rival app Bumble was actually a co-founder of Tinder, but then she quit after suing the company and alleging 2 of her Tinder co-founders sexually harassed her? And did you also know that the company that owns Tinder also owns pretty much all the other popular online matchmaking services? And remember, they are financially motivated to not find you a partner, since that would remove you from their target market. Welcome to the insane story of Tinder.
Oh man, holy. Hey, yo.
I love Montana, but I'm doing this for our family.
Ruin them, starting with her.
Tinder started out as a fun way to swipe through singles in your local area. It was new and exciting and everyone was talking about it. So you joined, and you were getting matches. The conversations were fun, and you were thinking how great and easy this is. But then something changed. You started getting less matches, less messages, ads started popping up. The amount of swipes you could do each day became limited. Once an app designed to help you meet new people now seemed like an app designed to help you spend more money. The excitement was gone. You were rarely meeting people.
Hey, but at the end of the day, this all makes sense as a business standpoint, though. Like, we 2 minutes in, but it's almost like, duh.
Anymore. Were you doing something wrong? Then you saw an ad for Tinder Gold. It promised to boost your profile and show you the people that were interested in you. You thought, that's what I need. This will get me back to the dates, the fun, the memories. You took out your card and made the purchase. $14.99 a month. It'll be worth it, you remember thinking. And at first, it was. It was like the old Tinder. You were getting matches and messages and dates. But then just like before, it all dried up. But Tinder had a new solution. You can upgrade to Tinder Platinum for an even higher fee. You started to wonder, what's going on? And to truly understand that, we need to travel back to where it all began. Sean Rad had been studying business at university, but at 18, he realized he was tired of learning about business in class and wanted to create something. He enlisted the help of some friends studying computer science and proposed to them an idea for an all-in-one tool for messaging and video chat, which they called Orgu. However, after months of work, Sean's first business was not a big success at all. But it did do one thing. It made Sean realize that with a little help, he could create almost anything. So Sean began brainstorming more ideas, and together with his college friend Justin Mateen, they came up with the idea of a flirting app loosely based on the concept of Hot or Not. And in February 2012,
this same dude made Hot or Not. Oh, he is he's killing the game of the lonelies.
After getting a software engineer called Joe Manoz on board, the 3 of them worked tirelessly for 3 weeks to create a prototype of their idea. The app originally had a thumbs up or down layout, but after showing the prototype to some friends, they realized it would be even better to try and gamify the app as much as possible, which led them to introducing the infamous swipe feature instead, as a way to quickly say yes or no to a potential match. They also originally called the app Matchbox, and the reason they changed the name is really interesting. You see, Sean and his friends had developed the app during a hackathon, which is basically an event that brings computer programmers together to work and collaborate on projects. But this particular one was hosted by Hatch Labs, a startup incubator owned by a giant conglomerate called IAC. And what's interesting is that IAC owned the Match Group, a company which has a majority stake in Match.com, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, Our Time, and pretty much all of the other most popular dating sites. They have a near monopoly on online dating, so it wasn't that surprising that after the hackathon, they invested in Matchbox. Except the name Matchbox was a little too similar to their dating app, Match.com, so the name got switched to Tinder. In an article about Sean Rad written in Bloomberg Businessweek, they commented that he was awfully evasive when talking about Tinder's relationship with IAC, and they had to ask him about it over and over again before he finally acknowledged that IAC was not just an investor, but the company's majority owner. Of course, at the time, nobody had any idea that very soon, Tinder would become one of the most profitable apps in the entire world.
That's crazy.
Justin had the idea of marketing their new app on college campuses. He started by introducing the app to influential people in fraternities and sororities, selling it as a way of expediting the hookup process. Needless to say, everyone loved it. Within no time, the app was starting to spread from campus to campus, up and down the country. Their growth was helped further by the huge parties that the company was throwing, where they only allowed entry to those who had downloaded their app. Before long,
Ooh, throw a banging party at college and you gotta download the app in order to get in? Oh, that was genius.
Tinder had taken over and started breaking out of college campuses and into the mainstream of big cities. The swipe feature was particularly addictive, and by October 2014, Tinder users completed over 1 billion swipes per day, and the average Tinder user was now spending nearly 90 minutes per day on the app. Tinder was also named the best new startup of 2013 by TechCrunch, and so Sean Rad and the rest of his co-founders were riding a high. They were even featured on the covers of magazines. Of course, as Tinder was becoming more famous, they did also attract some negative attention. There were many complaints that Tinder was making dating overly superficial and just about looks. And there was also data that showed Tinder was causing an increase in infidelity. However, the real controversy was what was happening inside the company. In 2014, Whitney Wolf, an early co-founder of the company, filed a sexual harassment charge against Tinder, claiming that Justin Mateen, her ex-boyfriend and Tinder co-founder, had sent her threatening and abusive text messages, and that the Tinder culture was misogynistic and she'd been stripped of her co-founder status because she was a girl. The accusations caused a huge divide on the Tinder board, segregating staff into two sides, threatening to bring the whole company down with it. Eventually, a settlement was reached for around $1 million, although no wrongdoing was admitted by anyone involved. But here's the real plot twist. After quitting the company, Whitney then went on to found Bumble, a direct competitor of Tinder, with a very similar concept and design. The two companies would go head to head in multiple court battles for years to come. This would include a lawsuit alleging Bumble was guilty of patent infringement and stealing trade secrets from Tinder. Then in December 2016, a guy called Greg Blatt took over as Tinder CEO. But in yet another twist, Greg was later removed as CEO after he was accused of sexual harassment by a different former vice president at Tinder. Although
Bro, these Tinder, get on your own app instead of harassing your staff. Holy, what's wrong with him?
He later filed a defamation suit against his accuser, saying the whole thing was a smear campaign against him. So the truth behind all of this is still a little unclear, but either way, it's not a good look for a dating app to have two executives removed because of sexual harassment claims. Not just that, but Tinder has openly admitted that there are definitely registered sex offenders on our free products, since Tinder don't vet who uses the app, which has inevitably ended up in some Tinder horror stories. Not to mention the people getting scammed through the app, like the Tinder swindler who conned his victims out of more than $10 million. However,
the Tinder swindler, how can you get 10 million off? Oh man. If anybody know the story about that, put it in the comments, or if anybody got a link to that story, put it in the comments.
Perhaps the most controversial element of Tinder is how it makes its money. Tinder was quickly becoming the fastest growing social media app on the App Store and the most popular dating platform in the US. But that meant investors were starting to demand a return on their investment, and so the founders started to look to cash in on their new user base. In 2015, the first premium subscription service was released, Tinder Plus. The company hoped that it would be enough to bring in some revenue and finally make the platform profitable. The two new features that the service launched with were Passport and Rewind. Passport allowed users to change their location to find matches with people from anywhere in the world, and Rewind was a feature that gave a user the option to bring back a profile previously swiped left on. However, they knew that these new features alone might not be enough to get customers to part with their money, so they began making their free version of the app worse to encourage people to pay. For example, they limited the number of free right swipes that someone could do in a 12-hour period, and they also started to place ads in between profiles. Many free users were unhappy with the service, feeling like they were now getting a watered-down version of the app that they had become accustomed to using. But the board at Tinder didn't care. Their premium subscription model was a huge success for their bottom line, and they were making money faster than ever before. And to be fair, they have to make money somehow. The problem was that this was just the very beginning of Tinder's monetization plans. But first, Tinder had another lawsuit to deal with. You see, Tinder had been sneaky with their pricing of their Tinder Plus subscription, because they offered the service for $9.99 to under 28s and $19.99 to over 28s. An age discrimination lawsuit in the state of California would later be filed, and Tinder would be forced to pay millions of dollars in compensation. Despite this,
Yeah, that's crazy.
in other places where they hadn't been sued, Tinder continued to discriminate with their pricing. Research found that an older straight male could pay $34.37 for Tinder Plus, whilst a queer female under 30 would pay $6.99 for the same service. Tinder would quite literally discriminate.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me check and see if anybody got a suit in their area. I think I made one of those.
Based on age, gender, and location, and charging certain people more for the exact same service. Of course, they didn't publicly advertise these prices, so most people didn't realize. There was some logic behind it though. Men massively outweigh women on dating apps,
right?
And it's been estimated there's a 9-to-1 ratio on Tinder. In fact, a study found on average that men get only around a 0.6 match rate. So by limiting their amount of swipes each day, the chances of a normal guy getting many matches goes way down, which damages their self-confidence and encourages them to pay money. So they're much more likely to pay for Tinder Plus. As a result of this subscription plan, Tinder were now making more money than ever before, which allowed them to ramp up their expansion overseas. Tinder was going global. But before long, there was pressure from the board to increase revenue again, which is what led to Tinder releasing a new higher tier of their premium subscription, this time called Tinder Gold. For an extra $5 a month, or $10 extra if you're over 30, you'd be able to see the profiles that were swiping right on you and get one free profile boost per month. Now, profile boosting was something that was introduced to allow you to pay to put yourself at the front of the queue, increasing your chances of getting matched. It was around this time that free users started to report they were seeing a significant dip in interactions, but more on that later. The extra features and higher price point would mean that Tinder was now becoming not just one of the most popular apps on the App Store, but one of the most profitable too. Tinder ignored the ever-growing community of loyal fans that were complaining the app was turning its back on its very users that had made the app so successful, and instead, Tinder released a third, even more premium subscription tier, this time for $19.99 per month, or more if you're over 30 of course, and for this, you could be the lucky holder of a Tinder Platinum subscription. This allowed you the ability to message people before even matching with them, thus negating the whole mutual attraction system that Tinder was literally founded on. And to make matters even worse, in September 2019, the US Federal Trade Commission sued Tinder's parent company, the Match Group, for knowingly using and/or creating fake users to bait men into paying for subscriptions.
Knowingly using or creating fake users to bait men into paying for subscriptions. All of the planning and plotting and twisting was cool until you start making fake accounts. Now, if you only want to give somebody a few chances to get swiped right on, this is your app, then cool. You, whatever. Cool, whatever. But to make fake accounts to get these people's money is wow. So how would you ever know if this is still continuing? Man, look, if you ain't getting no Uchi Wally, you know what I'm saying, in that first month or two that you paid that money, might as well cancel it. You might as well cancel it. I'm letting you know that now. Don't keep paying for your subscription if you ain't getting no Uchi Wally if they making fake accounts. Period.
subscriptions. Another technique Tinder uses to get more money from its users is hiding potential matches from free profiles. They tell you that you have all these people that have swiped right on you, and all you have to do to see them is pay for the subscription. But Tinder still had even more monetization tricks up its sleeve. For example, if you wanted even more profile boosts so your profile could be shown to more people, you could be charged up to $70 for it. You could also pay for priority likes, or you could pay for super likes, which puts your profile in a different color, which Tinder says helps you stand out even more, or possibly just look more desperate. The point is, Tinder loves all these different microtransactions because it gives you every opportunity to solve your own loneliness with money. Tinder has succeeded in turning dating into more of a game, but it's become more of a pay-to-win game, where the odds become more and more stacked against you if you don't give them money. And of course, if you did upgrade but then cancel, your matches would likely plummet. And once you've had a taste of success, it'd be hard to go back to having so few matches again. So it helps to keep you hooked every month. Now, let's just pause. I want to be very clear, Tinder's a business. Of course they're going to try to make as much money as they can from their users. I actually don't think you can begrudge them that much for cashing in with all these paid features. I just think it's useful that people are at least aware of what's going on, so they don't feel bad if they're not getting the results they want. But where this perhaps does get a little depressing is when you realize that the less attractive you are, the more money you'd probably have to pay. That's because Tinder has another secret they don't want you to know, which is that every user has a desirability score, a hidden rating given to each user that governs how often they're shown to people and who they're shown to. This used to be called the ELO score, but Tinder claimed they got rid of that and replaced it with something else, which is almost certainly very, very similar, but with a different name. Basically, if Tinder's algorithms determine your profile isn't popular enough, they'll stop showing your profile much to the people that Tinder's algorithm thinks are more attractive.
So it's still a popularity contest, which defeats the whole purpose of matching up online. Wow.
But still, despite all of this, I think what's most interesting of all about the economics of Tinder is something called the Tinder paradox. Much time on it as possible, and some apps even use artificial intelligence to predict exactly what to show you to stop you from logging off. For example, an app like TikTok keeps you engaged by learning more and more about you, so it can show you more tailored videos that it knows you'll want to see. However, the problem for Tinder is that the better the app is at matching you to someone, the less money they'll make. If all your matches are great fits for you, why would you want to pay for extra features or have a monthly subscription? And of course, for every successful match Tinder facilitates, if they are actually a perfect match and get in a relationship together, Tinder just lost 2 customers. This is a huge conflict of interest, and you can start to see why they may not want you to find the one after all. So how does Tinder increase user retention, and how does this affect you? The main method for this is to stagnate the matches. When you first create your profile, you'll be presented with a nice amount of matches. You'll feel great and have a positive experience. This is because Tinder initially boosts your profile to give you some dopamine hits to get hooked on the app. But pretty soon, those matches will start to tail off. But just as you're thinking about deleting the app, your phone will buzz. A notification from Tinder. It's a match. Just like that, dopamine is released in your brain and you're hooked again, back to swiping in search of more matches. It's reported that Tinder uses data science to know how often the average person needs to receive a match in order to regularly use the app. They'll also know the average number of matches before someone finds a date and deletes the app. So Tinder tries to keep you in this Goldilocks zone of just the right amount of matches to keep you happy, but not happy enough to delete the app. Of course, it should be acknowledged that Tinder has absolutely helped many people find love. The Tinder paradox is just a reminder that for Tinder, it'd be much better if you didn't. In August 2018, co-founders Sean Rad and Justin Martin, along with several other former Tinder executives, filed a lawsuit against Tinder's parent companies, Match Group and IAC. They said, through deception, bullying and outright lies, IAC and Match had stole billions of dollars from the Tinder employees by cooking the books to manufacture a fake global valuation of Tinder. Basically, they were claiming Tinder's parent company gave a false valuation of the company in 2017, which meant the shares belonging to Tinder's co-founders and some of the early employees were worth considerably less than they should have been. And they were demanding $2 billion in compensation. It took several years.
$2 billion in compensation. I wonder if they got that. Let's get into it.
But by late 2021, Match Group settled the legal dispute and agreed to pay Tinder's co-founders and original team $441 million.
So they was doing some slash stuff. See, everybody's so crooked, man. You would have never sold out. You would have never sold out for $500 million. You know what I'm saying? if what they wasn't saying was true.
All in all, the Tinder story is full of drama, but from a business and marketing perspective, Tinder is really inspiring. How an app made in just 3 weeks could completely revolutionize the way an entire generation meets new people. Through a combination of clever marketing strategies, gamifying the dating experience, and using some slightly questionable methods, Tinder has become the biggest dating app in the world. And I have to say that even though this video has looked a little more at the darker side of Tinder, personally when I've used it in the past, it was a really great experience and a lot of fun. So what do you think? Is Tinder simply a good business model, or has Tinder lost sight of the principles it was founded on in its quest for more and more profits? And do you think Tinder has improved dating by making it easier to connect with new people, or, as some think, do you think it's created a whole host of new problems? One thing is for certain, thanks to Tinder, dating will never be the same.
Okay, so I could see why they going through a lot of controversy as far as the dating world goes, because like they said, it is conflict of interest. We don't want to get you, we do want to get you dates to keep you on here, but we don't want to get you so many dates where you end up finding your match to the point that you get off the app anyway, because we'll lose our subscription per month. So from what I'm saying is, every business needs to be profitable because everybody in the business needs to get paid. They found a way to use the lonelies to get money per month and essentially show them to more people, which end up being less and less for the free users. So I'm not sure if the free user is really getting, because it honestly just depends on how active or how many people you're actually meeting. Because if you paying $20-$30 per month, and you meeting a girl or two every month and having relations, regardless of they physical or just talking, or if you meeting these people though, so you know that they real people, you went on dates with them, you had an opportunity, you might have had a romantic connection with these people. So if you're getting something out of it per month, then pay. If you're not, as long as there's not no policy or no cancellation penalty, cancel the app. You think I'm going to pay for an app where I ain't getting no Uchi Wally? Say I'm on this app for 3 months and ain't getting nothing off of it, but I done paid $20-$30 a month. That's $69 to $90 a month on this subscription. If I go 3 months without succeeding or getting any man, listen. I'm canceling the app. Yeah, you burnt me. It never happened again. You got over on me on the money. It would never happen again. With that being said, I'm just so not sure on how wrong I might have to download this thing myself and see the success rate, man. And just see the success rate. That's what I'm gonna do. Let me know if you want to see me download Tinder and see if I can succeed, get me some dates, and see if I can get some compensation with the free joint and then with the paid joint. Let me know if y'all want to see that. I will do that if y'all want to see me do it. Real rap. Put that in the comments. GoHamm TV, man. I'm out.